Center.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's call this meeting to order, as they said in formal occasions. My name is Paolo von Schirach, and I am the president of the Global Policy Institute, and I also serve as a professor of political science and international. And other places, so everybody's welcome, new friends and old friends. And we're here to talk about, obviously, an extremely important subject, probably one of the most important crises in global security that I can think of. I'm sure others may add other possibilities, but certainly Ukraine is really a big problem for Ukraine, for Europe, for the United States, for Western solidarity and global security. And we're fortunate today to have with us to discuss this complicated issue, Katerina, who is originally from Ukraine, but residing now in the Washington area. She has quite a bit of experience, a very sophisticated and complex experience in politics and campaigns and elections, and in Ukraine and beyond, in the region, whether it's Kazakhstan, I believe, and other places as well. But now she is, working from the U.S., but clearly with Ukraine as her primary objective. And then we've got Stephen here with us, Stephen Blank, who has a distinguished career in international security and defense analysis and military affairs. And so I think with the combined resources of political side and military security, strategic side, maybe we can shed some light on current events. For those, I'm sure many of you are aware of what's going on right now. What's going right now is that, believe it or not, we could talk about historic moments. Everything that happens is in the headlines is historic, but this may very well be historic. We are now potentially at an inflection point in which the United States may, I hope not, fail to follow through on its pledges to continue its very significant support militarily to Ukraine in terms of funds and munitions and materials and hardware, everything that Ukraine desperately needs to continue its war efforts against the Russian invaders, because of domestic squabbles. We've got our own domestic problems, unfortunately, deep disagreements between Republicans and Democrats about national priorities, and the effort to link continuing aid to Ukraine and also Israel, which is not something we're going to talk about today, to other issues, which admittedly are important, which is the safety and the security of the southern border of the United States, which is a huge mess. There is people may agree or disagree whether linking these two different subjects, security and international security, and if you wish, domestic security, which is safety, defending our borders, whether these two really belong together. But this is where we are right now. The Democratic Party, starting with obviously the president, doesn't want to do this, and the Republicans, who many of you will know control one of the branches of our legislature, the House, don't want to decouple. And we're at the end of the year. The Congress is about to adjourn. And we may very well close the year with a question mark on continuing American reliable support and robust support to Ukraine. Should this effort fail, it will be, in my opinion, a disaster. But I would like our guests to tell us what they think. So why don't I start with you, Stephen, and give us your take as to where we are, what's the situation on the ground, what are the implications of this potentially failed vote by the Congress to appropriate the money to continue the delivery of weapons? How do you see all this thing?
Well, let me put it starkly, since you outlined the problem, both for the audience here and people who are participating virtually. If the United States does not follow through on aid to Ukraine, or continues, and you should note that verb, continues to give Ukraine not enough of money or weapons that it needs, then Ukraine loses the war. There will be a new Cold War in Europe as well as globally, and we will have